Pete Davidson, the ever-charismatic comedian and actor known for his deadpan delivery and unflinching honesty, made an unexpected and electrifying comeback to the stage of Saturday Night Live during its latest episode. Storming into Studio 8H with the confidence of someone who's never truly left, Davidson wasted no time diving into a sprawling Weekend Update segment that felt like a homecoming roast session. At 31 years old, the star of shows like Bupkis and the voice behind characters in animated hits such as Dog Man brought his signature sarcasm to the forefront, tackling everything from political underdogs to personal financial woes, all while reminding the audience why he was a staple on the show for 8 seasons. The segment kicked off with a bold opener that immediately set the tone for the evening's irreverent vibe. Davidson, seated comfortably at the Weekend Update desk alongside anchor Colin Jost, leaned into the microphone with a smirk that suggested he had been plotting this moment for months. "If Lorne Michaels has taught us anything," he quipped, referring to the legendary creator and executive producer of SNL, "it's that you never, ever give up. Even if everyone says the time has come and Tina Fey is ready to take over." The line landed like a perfectly timed punch, eliciting roars of laughter and passionate applause from the live studio audience. It was a playful yet pointed jab at Michaels, who has helmed the show since its inception in 1975, and a nod to the ongoing rumors about Fey, the 30 Rock alum and SNL veteran, potentially stepping into a larger leadership role. Davidson's delivery was impeccable, dry, self-aware, and laced with just enough affection to keep it from crossing into outright disrespect. For longtime fans, it was a reminder of how Davidson's humor often walks that fine line between admiration and audacity, a trait that defined his tenure as a cast member from 2014 to 2022. But Davidson wasn't there just to throw shade at his former boss. He had a laundry list of hot-button topics to unpack, weaving them together with the seamless transitions that have become his comedic hallmark. Transitioning effortlessly, he delved into a personal venture gone awry, the infamous Staten Island ferry he co-purchased with Jost a few years back. What was initially envisioned as a glamorous floating entertainment hub, complete with comedy shows, pop-up bars and celebrity DJ sets, has since been rebranded in the media as little more than a money-losing fiasco, according to a scathing profile in the New York Times. Davidson didn't shy away from the embarrassment. Instead, he owned it with exaggerated flair. "Colin and I thought we'd turn this rusty old boat into the party palace of the East River," he deadpanned, gesturing dramatically to Jost, who played along with mock indignation. "But nope, it's just sinking our bank accounts faster than it ferries tourists. Who knew floating comedy clubs weren't recession-proof?" This ferry fiasco served as the perfect segue into Davidson's reflections on his recent gig at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia, an event that had already stirred controversy due to its location and the cultural tightrope comedians must walk in such settings. Davidson recounted the highs and lows with brutal candor, highlighting the surreal experience of performing stand-up in a country where humor can sometimes clash with local sensitivities. "I flew halfway around the world to tell jokes about my tattoos and therapy sessions, only to come back broke from all the overpriced hotel minibars," he joked. But the real gut punch came when he tied it back to his finances. "I can't even afford to spend $5 on a New York Times paywall anymore. I've got a kid on the way." The revelation about impending fatherhood with his girlfriend, actress Elsie Hewitt, was dropped casually, yet it carried an undercurrent of genuine excitement. Davidson's eyes lit up as he described the anticipation, calling it the scariest, coolest plot twist in his already unpredictable life. Fans in the audience cheered wildly, a mix of congratulations and empathy for the man who's navigated public breakups, mental health struggles and now the wild ride of parenthood. Davidson's segment wasn't all self-deprecation though. He turned his sharp wit outward, zeroing in on the fresh political drama brewing in New York City. With Zohran Mamdani's recent mayoral victory still making headlines, Davidson seized the opportunity to defend the underdog leader while skewering his detractors. Mamdani, a progressive firebrand whose win represented a seismic shift in the city's leadership, had faced backlash from conservative pockets, particularly in Staten Island, the lone borough that bucked the trend and voted against him. Davidson, a proud New Yorker with roots in Staten Island's edgier corners, channeled that local pride into a blistering takedown. "I have a message for everyone who did not vote for our new mayor," he declared, pausing for effect as the crowd leaned in. "Hey Staten Islanders. Did you promise to move out of New York if Mamdani won, but then realize you have too many warrants in New Jersey and not enough guns for Florida?" The room exploded in laughter, the line cutting deep with its blend of regional rivalry and absurd exaggeration. It was classic Davidson, using comedy to deflate tension, highlight hypocrisy, and rally support for the overlooked. Mamdani's campaign had been a grassroots triumph, overcoming odds stacked by big-money opponents and media skepticism, and Davidson's endorsement felt like a cultural seal of approval, bridging the gap between late-night laughs and real-world politics. As the segment wrapped, it was clear this wasn't just a cameo, it was a statement. Davidson's return marked his first appearance on SNL since hosting an episode in October 2023, a full 2 years after he bid farewell as a regular cast member. Those 8 seasons had cemented his status as a fan favorite, from his viral impressions to his poignant weekend update poems on topics like his Crohn's disease and the loss of his father, a firefighter killed on September 11. Leaving the show in 2022, Davidson cited a desire to explore new horizons. Films like The King of Staten Island, his HBO series Bupkis, and stand-up specials. But the pull of Studio 8H was undeniable. "This place is like family," he admitted in a quieter moment during the segment, "the dysfunctional kind where you roast each other but show up anyway." Jost, his longtime collaborator, chimed in with a heartfelt intro, teasing their shared ferry misadventure before handing over the mic, underscoring the brotherly bond that has kept Davidson tethered to the SNL orbit. Reflecting broader themes, Davidson's appearance highlighted the evolving landscape of late-night comedy in a polarized world. SNL has long been a battleground for satire, but Davidson's approach, raw, personal, and unapologetically New York, cuts through the noise. His jabs at Michaels spoke to the generational handoff in showbiz, where icons like the 80-year-old producer must confront calls for fresh blood. Faye, with her razor-sharp writing and producing chops, represents that bridge, and Davidson's nod to her was as much a vote of confidence as it was a zinger. Meanwhile, the fairy tale underscored the entrepreneurial spirit and pitfalls of celebrities dipping into business, a trend from Ben Stiller's production company Flops to Ryan Reynolds.